Why Paul Heyman must leave Roman Reigns for CM Punk. Paul Heyman and CM Punk turn on the OG Bloodline. Bianca Belair is unhappy with the WWE. Drew McIntyre's future update. Unfortunate update on Carmella. The WWE's blunt message to Big E. Cody Rhodes breaks character and attacks Jimmy Fallon. The Rock achieves a rare accomplishment outside of WWE. Let's dive right in. Paul Heyman and CM Punk turn on the OG Bloodline. WWE Survivor Series, War Games Premium Live event, is just a few hours away. Considered one of the biggest WWE events, Survivor Series this year will take place at the Rogers Arena in Vancouver, Canada. The marquee event is known for great surprises and debuts. From The Rock's debut in 1996 to The Sting's debut in 2014, Survivor Series has seen some legends appear at the event. Last year's Survivor Series was more than phenomenal, as it saw the returns of Randy Orton and CM Punk on the same night. Therefore, this year too, there might be a few surprises for the fans. Number 1. Paul Heyman and CM Punk might turn on OG Bloodline. One of the biggest shockers from the night might be Paul Heyman aligning with CM Punk and betraying the OG Bloodline. Heyman returned to WWE on last week's episode of SmackDown with Punk as the 5th member of the faction. However, there have been speculations about Heyman betraying Roman Reigns, as he has been teasing his flip through his wardrobe change, which is somewhat similar to the one that Solo Sikoa wears. Paul Heyman might ally with CM Punk and cost the OG Bloodline his match, and then take on the role of Punk's manager like he once was of the straight edge superstar. Number 2. Logan Paul could return to confront LA Knight. The Maverick might make a stunning return at Survivor Series and attack LA Knight, to whom Logan Paul lost his United States title at SummerSlam. LA Knight, meanwhile, would be defending his US title against Shinsuke Nakamura. It's been over 100 days since Logan Paul showed up in WWE since SummerSlam 2024. Paul might return at Survivor Series, attack LA Knight, and cost him his title. The two could then feud with each other, and the Maverick can exact revenge on Knight at the next PLE, which is Saturday Night Main Event on December 14th. Number 3. Goldberg could return at Survivor Series and cost Gunther the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Another surprise of the night could be Goldberg returning at Survivor Series and costing Gunther his WWE World Heavyweight Championship against Damian Priest. The WWE legend had a face-off with the Ring General at Bad Blood last month, where they had a heated exchange. The possibility of Goldberg marking his return at Survivor Series, War Games, also increases because he is slated to compete in his final match in WWE, most probably by next year. WWE teased a rivalry between the two at Bad Blood, and it might get intense if Da-Man costs Gunther his World Heavyweight Championship. The two might then face each other at WrestleMania 41, where the Ring General might finally defeat the WWE Hall of Famer, and Goldberg would announce his retirement from the big stage. Number 4. Tiffany Stratton could cash in her Money in the Bank contract. The buff Barbie might cash in her Money in the Bank contract at the Survivor Series, War Games. However, the question remains as to who Stratton would turn to cash in her contract. Liv Morgan or Nia Jax? She has been teasing to cash in her contract on Liv Morgan's WWE Women's World Championship, but the 25-year-old can do a major swerve and instead cash it on her friend Nia Jax. Tiffany Stratton would turn babyface if she did this, which might lead to her rivalry with Nia Jax on the road to WrestleMania 41. Meanwhile, Tiffany will compete in the Women's War Games at Survivor Series alongside Liv Morgan, Nia Jax, Candice LeRae, and Raquel Rodriguez against the team of Rhea Ripley, which has Bianca Belair, Naomi, Bayley, and Sky. Number 5. Braun Breaker could lose his WWE Intercontinental title. Another big surprise of the night could be Braun Breaker losing his WWE Intercontinental Championship. The former NXT champion won it at SummerSlam 2024 by defeating Sami Zayn and then lost it to Jey Uso on the September 23rd edition of Raw before winning it back on October 21st from Jey. At Survivor Series War Games, Breaker will defend his title in a triple threat contest against Sheamus and Ludwig Kaiser, and there is a strong possibility of Sheamus winning the title from Breaker this time. The 3-time WWE champion is just one win away from becoming the WWE Grand Slam champion. Thus, it is being speculated that the Celtic Warrior might dethrone Braun Breaker at the Mega event. It is also speculated that Sheamus's longtime friend in WWE, Drew McIntyre, might also turn up and help him win the title. All questions will now be answered at the Mega event on November 30th. Bianca Belair is unhappy with the WWE. Bianca Belair is currently one of the top names in the WWE Women's division. However, a veteran thinks she is not pleased with one of the creative department's decisions. The EST is currently teamed up with Jade Cargill. Given the talent both the stars possess, it is quite clear why they have been able to bag the tag team title twice so far. However, Vince Russo thinks that it was a bad idea to put them together, believing that Bianca is probably not on board with the step either. Speaking on Sportskeeda's writing with Russo, the WWE veteran stated that Belair was not progressing while in the tag team. Bianca Belair was a women's champion, so she's here, gestures high. Oh, okay, Bianca. Now we are gonna put you with Jade Cargill and you will be tag team champions. Bro, that's here now, gestures low. Thinks about that. If I am Bianca Belair, I am like, well, wait a minute. I was the women's champion. Now you are gonna put me in a tag team? I would have an issue with that. That's not progressing. That's coming down. According to Vince Russo, Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill are too similar and competitive to be put on the same team. In the same episode of Sportskeeda's Writing with Russo, Vince Russo explained his opinion. I have heard a lot of rumblings about her and Bianca Belair, which makes a lot of sense. Because you look at the two of these two, and you could see them competing for the same spot. Bro, they are both African American. They are both physical freaks. They are both strong as hell. They have both got flair. They have both got personality. They have both got character. So you have these two talents that are going to be very competitive with each other, and what do? You put them together. As of now, fans will have to wait to see what is next for Jade and Bianca in WWE. Drew McIntyre's future update. Drew McIntyre was last seen by fans at Bad Blood, where he faced CM Punk in a brutal Hell in a Cell match. Since then, the star has been absent from regular programming, with very few updates about his current status. Now, a report has emerged on his future. At Bad Blood, Drew McIntyre and CM Punk finally settled their grudge in a match that was made for Hell in a Cell. They took each other to their limits in the match. During one point of the match or the other, both stars were hurt and left bearing their scars. Drew McIntyre was busted open and needed 16 staples to the top of his head to stop the bleeding. Since then, Punk and McIntyre had been absent, but CM Punk recently returned to team with the OG Bloodline for Survivor Series. Thanks to Paul Heyman bringing him back, the star is now in the biggest match for War Games. According to a report, McIntyre is still not ready for his return. According to PW Insider, creative discussions have started about when and how McIntyre will return to a WWE ring. However, it was added that nothing was set in stone. There's no current direction for his future, but there have been some pitches about what that will be. The report also added that he's closer to returning after needing 16 staples in the match. He also needed time off to deal with some family matters. With CM Punk winning the Hell in a Cell match, it's expected that the feud between the two stars is at an end. The stars have been at each other's throats for a long time now, and with the Hell in a Cell match, it's assumed that they will be moving on to other targets. Seth Rollins has made no secret that he wants to go after Punk. Whether he will do so remains to be seen. As for Drew McIntyre, with several pitches out there, as per the report, fans will have to wait and see what he does when he finally steps back in the ring. Unfortunate update on Carmella. Carmella has been gone from WWE for a long time, with the star absent from the ring ever since it was announced that she was pregnant. With questions about a potential health issue recently, there's now an unfortunate report about the star. With the 37-year-old star last appearing in the company on Raw in March 2023, she has since been absent. She went on hiatus due to her real-life pregnancy, which meant that she would not be competing for a long time. Later that year, she and her husband, Corey Graves, had their first child. However, the star has not returned to the ring, despite a substantial period having already passed since. Fans have been worried about her health and whether she will be able to return in the future. Carmella provided an update recently, where she talked about getting an MRI for her foot, but there was no revelation about the nature of the issue. Fans could only indulge in conjecture. Now, a report by Fightful Select has shed a little more light on the situation. As per the report, Carmella suffered from drop foot after giving birth. This is a condition where it becomes difficult for those afflicted to lift the frontal part of the foot, and it could occur because of issues with the nerves or muscles in the region. The report went on to state that the condition was a difficult one to train through, although it did mention that should she be able to return, WWE would welcome her back. While the star has been working on the condition surrounding her foot, she's also been very active on social media, posting about her time with her child and how grateful she was. She has posted about the issues mothers commonly suffer, which are often overlooked. Carmella appears focused on getting used to her new life as a mother, and the star seems to be thriving in that role as well. The WWE's blunt message to Big E WWE once told a top star that even though the higher-ups liked him, they had nothing for him regarding weekly TV. The star, Big E, opened up about the same while reacting to the New Day's greatest moments in a new YouTube video. The New Day has completed 10 years in World Wrestling Entertainment. Big E, Xavier Woods, and Kofi Kingston were at the lowest points of their careers when the trio formed a group in late 2014. The rest, as they say, is history. Today, many fans consider the New Day the greatest team in the history of WWE. Even the Stamford-based promotion ranked it the greatest tag team in history. In a new video, the New Day reflected on some of the group's biggest moments. Big E revealed that producer Road Dogg had a blunt message for him before the New Day was formed. "It was that same day at Extreme Rules. I lost the IC title to Bad News Barrett, and I remember having a conversation with Road Dogg, essentially that day saying, 'Hey, we like you, but we have nothing for you,'" E recalled. The New Day has done quite well for themselves over the past 10 years. Big E is out of action with an injury, while Woods and Kofi Kingston are on the verge of breaking up on Raw. Many fans hope to see a lengthy feud pitting Kingston and Woods, with Big E getting involved in some capacity. Only time will tell what Triple H has in store for the trio in the coming weeks. The New Day will become one of the greatest stables in WWE history. One wonders where all three members would be today if it hadn't been for the formation of the stable. Cody Rhodes breaks character and attacks Jimmy Fallon. Undisputed WWE champion Cody Rhodes is known for being one of the most generous babyfaces in the locker room. Despite this, the American Nightmare recently broke character and attacked popular celebrity Jimmy Fallon ahead of making an appearance on his show. Rhodes was one of the guests alongside comedian Jerry Seinfeld and guitarist Billy Strings for the November 28th episode of The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon. Ahead of the episode's release, the undisputed WWE champion was seen in its teaser, where Fallon plays a rendition of John Denver's song, "Take Me Home, Country Roads." The talk show host replaced the original lyric, which had Country Roads, with Cody Rhodes, which prompted the American Nightmare to smash his guitar. Moreover, Rhodes also grabbed Fallon by the collar and seemingly threw him out, but it was just a dummy instead of him. The show's official X account posted the video clip of the teaser. The move was very unlike the American Nightmare, who is known for being the ultimate babyface and always puts up his best behavior when representing WWE. While Cody Rhodes' attack on Jimmy Fallon wasn't real, he has developed some heat with Kevin Owens. The prizefighter recently injured Randy Orton. Last week, the American Nightmare demanded an answer from KO for his actions in a face-off with him. The former Universal Champion said that he attacked the Viper because he had sided with Rhodes, who was a traitor in his eyes because of his temporary alliance with Roman Reigns at Bad Blood. Cody Rhodes didn't appreciate being blamed for the injury of his longtime friend. Retaliating, the American Nightmare said that the prizefighter was in the habit of carrying a victim mindset and then lashing out. However, Owens didn't stay to listen to Rhodes or answer his questions, walking out on him. This left the undisputed WWE champion very frustrated, allowing Carmelo Hayes to permeate his mind backstage. The men's crown jewel champion almost ended up in a backstage brawl with Hayes before being stopped by SmackDown general manager Nick Aldis. Now, Rhodes will face Melo in a singles match this week. It would be interesting to see if Hayes can successfully score a punch above his weight. The Rock achieves a rare accomplishment outside of WWE. This does not happen often in Hollywood, which just shows how successful he has been. The Great One has starred in many big movies over the past few years, and it doesn't seem like he wants to slow down yet. Despite his busy schedule, the Brahma Bull still made multiple appearances on WWE TV this year during his feud with Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes. According to DeadlineHollywood.com, the newly released Moana 2 debuted at number 1 at the box office. The Rock's Christmas movie Red One also debuted at number 1 at the box office this month, which is a rare feat in Hollywood. 2 of his films were at the top in the same month. The Ultimate Dream match was supposed to happen at WrestleMania 40 between the two cousins, but WWE made the decision to pivot. However, the show of shows comes around every year, so the bout could still happen one day. During an interview with Sports Illustrated, Roman Reigns said a match between him and The Rock is still possible. "I think our fan base and the company's proven that if our fans are loud enough and passionate enough about something, we're a company who we're not being dictated to. We have a vision for where we're trying to go, but we know who the consumers are. Business is great, and we just want to continue to push things up. So, if that's what the people want and the People's Champ is down, I'm sure we can make something happen," said Reigns. There's a big chance that the People's Champion will compete at WrestleMania 41. It'll be interesting to see who his opponent will be. Why Paul Heyman must leave Roman Reigns for CM Punk. Historically, the best in the world has had his differences with Roman Reigns, but the wise man was the bridge between the two stars. Either way, Heyman's association with Punk may not be temporary. He could leave the original tribal chief to manage the straight-edge superstar after Survivor Series War Games 2024. On that note, let's look at 3 reasons why Paul Heyman must leave Roman Reigns for CM Punk. Number 1. Paul Heyman may have felt betrayed by Roman Reigns' silence. Roman Reigns returned to WWE at SummerSlam 2024, but it was too late for Paul Heyman. In the wake of WrestleMania 40, Solo Sikoa took over the Bloodline and recruited Tama Tonga, Tonga Loa, and Jacob Fatu into the faction. Sikoa even made all the decisions without consulting the Wiseman. Heyman's efforts were fruitless, as the Bloodline grew powerful with each passing week. However, the WWE Hall of Famer's fortunes took a turn for the worse when he refused to acknowledge Sikoa as his tribal chief, leading to a heinous 4-on-1 assault. As Heyman struggled and endured much alone, Roman was nowhere to be seen. If Reigns had returned earlier, Paul may not have been victimized the way he was by the new bloodline. Hence, the Wiseman may feel resentment toward Reigns, which could lead to his separation from the original tribal chief. Number 2. CM Punk stood up for Paul Heyman. A week before the bloodline decimated Paul Heyman, CM Punk returned to SmackDown in Chicago. The Wiseman begged the Second City Saint for help, and the latter agreed to help the former as he stared down the bloodline alongside Cody Rhodes. However, Drew McIntyre, Punk's arch-nemesis, viciously brutalized the best in the world, ending all hopes of a full-time reunion. Several months later, the OG Bloodline needed a 5th member for their War Games team at Survivor Series, War Games 2024, and Punk agreed to help them because of the Wiseman. Hence, the 46-year-old star has been there for Paul Heyman when the latter needed him most. Their bonds seem to run deep and cross the limits of a strictly professional relationship. Therefore, mutual affection could lead to a full-time reunion. Number 3. Paul Heyman could help CM Punk main event WrestleMania. Upon his breathtaking return at Survivor Series War Games 2023, CM Punk announced his intentions of main eventing WrestleMania. An ill-timed injury prematurely ended those plans in 2024, but the best in the world is now healthy and in a good position to realize his dreams next year. However, the straight-edge superstar may need extra guidance along the way, which could be provided by Paul Heyman. The 59-year-old legend was instrumental in Roman Reigns' rapid rise to the peak of the mountain in WWE, and his expertise could work wonders for Punk as well. It remains to be seen whether the Wiseman will leave the original tribal chief for the best in the world soon.